This is Eric Campbell. You can find me at ericcampbell.com. This is Brian Walker with Image Armor Pretreatment and Inks.
Johnny Show with SGIA. Scott Prezer, T-Biz Network International. And you're listening to Two Regular Guys podcast
Hosted by Terry Combs
and Aaron Montgomery. Anything but regular, nothing but extraordinary.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. It is Friday, November 16th, 2018. I'm Terry Combs with Equipment Zone. You can also find me at terrycombs.com.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery. And you can find me at aaronmontgomery.info. Today, we're going to be announcing
Aaron, I don't know if Eric or any of our listeners out there can let us know, but I have lost your audio.
All right. Yeah. I think speaking of that on here, I'll get the and
Hey there, Terry.
Hey.
Hey, folks. This is what happens when you go live, right?
Exactly right. We were having a perfectly fine conversation until he hit the play button. So,
well, I showed up just on time. Same problem, having technical difficulties over here, so I can't say a whole lot. But this is how it works, folks. That's why sometimes you listen to the podcast version, and if you want to laugh, sometimes you listen to the live version.
yeah, because we will get all this edited out and pretend it never happened.
Yeah, you'll never know. All you podcast people, no idea. We're just awesome.
Well, Eric, while you and I are here, I assume Aaron is trying to get back in to see us. But a couple of news items is the finalists have been selected for the 2019 Wearables Apparel Awards. And if anybody doesn't know, Wearables is a magazine for the Ad Specialty Institute, ASI. And the annual competition will honor industry's best garments and embellishments. So we're going to have a link on our website to cast your ballot. So here on the Two Regular Guys Reggie's Award Show, we're going to be talking about doing some awards through Wearables magazine. And Eric, do you write for those guys at all? I do a column for them every month on screen printing.
I did for quite some time. I wrote a lot from where stitches and a little bit as they turned into wearables. As people know, they kind of folded up wearables and stitches. But I haven't written for them for a bit now. I really do a lot for printwear, and that's where I've been pretty exclusive with my columns, though.
Right.
Every once in a while, I help out some of my industry friends, so you'll see my name pop up in quotes and stuff. But it's usually because I'm helping out.
You probably get what I get. Hey, somebody bailed. I need an article in 3 days. Can you do it?
What I usually get actually is the friend who already had that happen to him who says, hey, somebody else bailed and I'm picking up this article. What do you know about performance wear like right now?
Exactly.
I'll follow that up. Since we're doing the news, let me go ahead and kick in for Aaron while he's out.
Okay, sure.
I'll do his little bit here. And we have a ThreadX 2019 coming up. So ThreadX 2019, the super early bird pricing ends today. So you need to register and book your room today to get the best rates. And this is a unique opportunity to connect with the best in the business on consumer culture, e-commerce optimization, marketing strategies, and more. It's everything you need to know for sustaining a thriving business in an ever-changing landscape. All SGIA members receive 25% off the non-member price. Now, check this out. ThreadX 2018 was awesome. The speakers were incredible. We had all kinds of information you don't get anywhere else, and really the networking. I can't say enough for just being in the room with the kind of people who show up at ThreadX. So yeah, get out there, get your early bird pricing, and check it out. Plus, I'd say Draplin is coming for 2019. I wish I could go. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but yeah, Aaron Draplin's awesome. You see him speak, you're going to love it. So get out there and check it.
And I believe, Eric, that's only for the early bird signups. So it's people who sign up till today that get to attend his additional session because he'll also be speaking at the event. But yeah, it's a fantastic event, and I can't wait to get back out there again. I'm actually teaching a screen printing class Saturday and Sunday in Chicago that weekend, so I'm going to be flying straight from Chicago to San Diego. So anyway, hey, and one last thing here is in the news items, not really a news item, but just want to do a shout out to Alan Clayton. Alan is with Midlands Technical College in South Carolina, and Alan reached out to say how much he enjoys the show. So we appreciate that, Alan, and hope you keep listening. All right,
I am back.
All right, fantastic.
There we go.
Oh boy! Apparently that big intro, big jumping in, was just way too much for the new internet here to handle. So, and better yet, Terry, my reverb's gone. So.
Oh, nice! Look at that. You solved all the problems that we had to deal with.
Problems have been solved now. So, but Eric, thank you so much for bailing me out. So,
not a problem, sir.
Yeah. And we're going to let you take a little break if you don't mind, and we'll grab you after we're done here when Terry's got to run off, and you and I can reminisce about Reggie's of the past. So that sounds good
to me.
Reggie's of Christmas past.
Reggie's of Christmas past. Yeah, I love it. All right. Well, and plus, Eric is going to be bringing us 5 things today, Terry. So that's going to be a great one. He's got hiring an experienced embroidery machine operator.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that.
Really good one. We definitely have a great embroidery following, thanks to Eric and friends like Christine Shreve and Andrea Bomarito. And based on the nominations, you can see that we know embroidery, Terry. Yeah.
Well, more importantly, we know people who know embroidery.
Well,
yeah. that's like having a pool. There's only one thing better: having a neighbor with a pool.
Exactly. Yeah. My dad always told me it's not what you know, it's who you know. So,
exactly.
We know the right people, but good stuff there. Terry, real quick, a couple of good mornings here to just kind of get us kicked off here. Lisa said she could hear you fine, so that appreciate the feedback there, Lisa. Susan, good morning, checking in, hello, and Christine Shreve, as we mentioned, and good friend David Shaw from Ace Transfer Company.
Fantastic.
Good stuff. Floor is yours, Terry.
Well, what I wanted to say, the reason I have to bail out midway through the show after we make the announcements for the REGGIE nominees is I'm in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey right now at Equipment Zone's headquarters, and their solution center for Epson having an open house yesterday and today. And about 2:00 yesterday, it started snowing heavily. So we all cleared out. Luckily, we got behind a snow plow that went all the way to our hotel. Some of the other folks here were 4, 5, 6 hours getting home. So, but and also you mentioned Christine. She threw I've started to say she threw a stone at me, but it was more like a snowball, saying you guys would never survive in Michigan.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not sure you survive here in St. Louis. We had a few inches of snow, and it basically was a big excuse for everybody to take the day off work, which puts us behind this time of year.
the holiday time of the year. Perfect. Exactly. But my primary concern was getting on my plane at 4:15 this afternoon to head to sunny Arizona.
Yeah.
But hey, we want to thank everybody for listening. We are so pleased to bring the show to you. Since February 2013, hard to believe, this is our 6th season. So our 6th REGGIE Awards. And we always try to avoid the rants and the lecturing, as you know, and we would love to hear from any and all of you. You can go to our website, 2regularguys.com. Check out our show notes for previous podcasts. I mentioned earlier about we're going to be posting some things from our news items. So anytime we talk to somebody and they give us links and that kind of thing, you can always find it at our website. And we are always looking for show suggestions as well. So you can go to our Contact Us page at tworegularguys.com. Also, you can obviously find us all over social media at 2RegularGuys. And if you are catching the live video via Facebook Live, we would love to hear your comments, insights, questions, suggestions, and participation in the show. And if you just want to give a little hey yay to a nominee that you made and it made the cut, feel free.
Yeah, definitely. We're excited to have the interaction and bring all this to you. And as Terry said, love the comments. And even if you're catching the podcast side of this, you can always go back to the facebook.com/2regularguys and check out the video side and see all the comments and even participate afterwards. So we love to have that interaction within our community. Terry, you were also mentioning, filling out shows for next year and, any suggestions you have. Yeah, definitely. We are already starting to fill up first quarter of 2019. So don't hesitate to get in there early. If you've got some hot thing that you think people are going to want to know about, please reach out to us because it'll be middle of next year before we have a slot if you're not careful. So
exactly.
Yeah, we had some people saying, hey, want to get some information out there to folks before ISS Long Beach. And we said, okay, great. Here's the calendar, pick a date. And all those dates are long gone. So
shuffle your feet, lose your seat, as my mother would say.
Yes. Our friends from Jersey, Activewear for Garment Decorating, are checking in saying excited to see the nominees. So
fantastic.
Todd, just another great comment here. Todd said, if next Friday is Black Friday, what's that make Thursday? Mall opens at 6 p.m. here. Yeah, it's I've been seeing Black Friday specials since Halloween time. So I think there's going to have to be a tipping point at somewhere where we've just decided to make the entire year a Black Friday special. I don't know.
Right. Well, Aaron, I'm going to be spending Black Friday packing for my trip to Dominican Republic with my son. So my annual birthday Thanksgiving excursion.
Sure. So, do you just enjoy people hating you because you live in Phoenix and it's sunny, or you're going to Cancun or wherever tropical destination? Is that how it goes?
I do draw some ire.
apparently
no one. Yeah, apparently no one wants to know that I got bumped to first class either.
No. We're gonna get way off track here if we're not careful. But Terry, Eric had actually mentioned earlier some things about ThreadX and today being the last day. Whoops, get wrong deal there. Being the last day to get that super early bird special. And the other thing to think about with ThreadX is they are going to fill up. This is a limited space
Absolutely.
event, and they will fill up. So I wanted to share a couple more details. As Terry mentioned, we are going to be out there, probably not in cars with cookies this year. It may have to be, on a plane or something. I don't know, but
decorators on planes with pretzels.
There we go. Perfect. So yeah, we're going to be bringing you information from that event, but there's so much there that we can't cover it all. So the only way to get the full scope of it is to be in attendance. We've talked about Ricardo Crespo on this show before, just a very dynamic speaker, fantastic, gets you motivated, gives you tons of great information. He's going to be emceeing the event, and that event's happening February 17th through the 19th, 2019 in San Diego, California. As mentioned, Aaron Duraplin is going to be the keynote design wizard, and if you're into design at all, just in general, he just brings a really interesting perspective to the design space and things going on in our world. We've got other great speakers like Benny Gold, who's a San Francisco based streetwear brand and boutique, and the list goes on and on. So if you head over to threadxconference.com, you can get signed up there. And yep, this is definitely something we are all looking forward to here. So check that out, Terry. And we're signed up, but you guys need to get signed up too.
Absolutely. We can hang out.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, absolutely. I think that's honestly, there's tons of great information. I loved all of the speakers and I loved all that. But I think a lot of the conversation after the fact was just that networking opportunity, people sitting at tables that were from all different walks of the levels of the industry and stuff like that, having those conversations, having that opportunity to connect. That's what I'm most looking forward to, is just talking to all these people.
And Aaron, you know, a lot of folks in the industry are friends with this group or friends with that group, and there was none of that. There was nothing cliquish about it. People would purposely sit at a table where they didn't know anybody and just, you know, start passing out business cards and have conversations. So I agree with that. That was probably one of the greatest part of the whole event. Yeah.
Well, except for you and I, we were inseparable, but you know, that's just how it goes when you're two regular guys.
Well, because if we're not, somebody goes, so where's the other regular guy?
I know. You have to explain it. It's like, we don't always hang out. Oh yes, wait a second. Oh, David Shaw says he signed up yesterday. He's looking forward to it. So
fantastic.
Excellent.
Look forward to seeing you there, David.
All right, Terry. Well, are we ready for this? Are we ready for what people actually came for here to really find out what happened? All right.
We are. I was going to wear a tuxedo, Aaron, but I didn't want to check a bag, so it wouldn't fit my carry-on. So I'm wearing my Equipment Zone Expo shirt.
Well, we always wear an audio podcast, so but now we can't tell people we're wearing the tuxedos when we really aren't. We almost have to put on pants now. So, all right, Terry. Well, you know, this grows every year. This is our 6th year doing the REGGIE Awards. This year we had nearly 200 nominations being sent in. I mean, it was fast and furious. And next year I'm going to have to make it so they don't come to my email and just go to a file somewhere, because it's like my phone was buzzing constantly. You could always tell when somebody was promoting it, you know, like Rhinestone World guys or whatever, people were promoting it, because then I get it. Oh, there's a whole bunch of those. Okay. Anyways, so I want to thank everybody for all their participation, for turning out. We really appreciate it. Just a reminder for everybody that Terry, myself, Eric, nobody has anything to do with these nominations. They've all come in. We don't pick and choose who we like and who we don't like. The way that this works is we had people nominate people. I went through and sorted through them last night, and basically whoever had the most nominations, the top 5 people that had the most nominations, got in, and we'll be voting on those for the awards. So again, it wasn't like, oh, okay, here's 20 people that got nominated, let's pick our 5 favorite. No, we picked the 5. You know, you're going to see some places along the way here where it's pretty dominated by one group, you know, and that's just the way that the cookies crumbled, so to speak. So, in fact, and then the last one, we've only got 4 in there because it came down to a tie for the last spot. And instead of us picking and choosing, we picked the 4 people that had multiple nominations. So we'll talk about that more as we get to that category. But Terry, do you want to start us out with category number 1? Let's name off who is actually been nominated. But I do also want to go ahead and share the other folks that received nominations, just so we can give them recognition as well. So
sure, absolutely.
Number 1 is all yours, Terry.
All right. And these, by the way, are in no particular order. So you can't look at our list and say, okay, that's the one that got the most votes.
Actually, they're in alphabetical order, but that's a different.
Well, the very first nomination is Best New Product. The 5 nominees are Bling Anything from the Rhinestone World. Number 2 is In Brilliance Stitch Artist 3D Foam Underlay. Number 3 is the Epson F2100 DTG printer. Number 4 is the Design Wizard software from the Rhinestone World. And the last one is Wallacut Express from HTW.
Which is Heat Transfer Warehouse. Sorry, I abbreviated that there.
You thought you were going to be reading this one. And obviously, folks, I was not there helping Aaron sort these last night like I normally do. I was trying to get home.
Yeah, it was late last night, and both Terry and I were dealing with snow. So I just like, all right, instead of trying to do this morning, let's get her done. All right. Well, who else received nominations there, Terry?
Absolutely. Some other folks who received nominations are the 996MR. All Made T-shirts, BWM Hopkins Flood Bar, Color Reel, Go Sublimate Printer Kit, Hatch by Wilcom, Insta 256, Ricoma the CHT2 forehead embroidery machine, Caesar Easy PSV pressure sensitive vinyl, installs new metallic colors, exclamation mark.
Nice. Yeah. Some great nominations there. Obviously, some good products. I thought the color reel one was interesting. The nominee actually put some information about it. Says it's not landed yet, but it's very interesting. It's a thread dyeing system that colors a polyester thread while it's being stitched on the machine. That's so you only ever have to spool up one color of a white thread and use one needle to achieve logos. If it holds up, there's some real potential there for a certain segment. So very interesting. And
that sounds
actually,
like a nomination for next year.
yeah, definitely some good stuff. And the 996MR, they mentioned that really has played a key role this year because of the fleece outage. So learn something new all the time, Terry. Good stuff there.
Absolutely. Well, Aaron, you want to give us the second category?
Yes, absolutely. And as we all know, I love saying people's names because I always screw them up massively. So let's do this. Let's do the best sales and customer service representatives. The nominees were Gabe Hernandez from the Rhinestone World, Christine Shreve from Enmart, Lisa Potts from the Rhinestone World, Mitchell Rubicki. I totally blew that one. If you can think it's something different, Terry, go for it. But Mitchell from Heat Transfer Warehouse and Sean Moreno from the Rhinestone World. So there are your 5 nominees. And the others receiving nominations, Terry, we've got Bill Cohen from allstitch.net, Brenda Shiflett, Brian Boylan has really been an outstanding sales rep for the Fruit of the Loom brands. We've got Brock Jensen from M&R, Chris Sicard from Rhinotech, good friend Eric Campbell, who we've always seen today, nominated, and Greg Brown with AWDIS, Helen Bay, Henry Mao, Joe Pizza, and I know I'm messing up Joe's name, and I know Joe very well, but I
believe that's Joe Piazzo.
Piazza, thank you.
Piazza. There it is.
I always want to say pizza because that's what I jokingly call him, Joe Pizza. But anyhow, he's with Caesar, and I can say Caesar, so there we go. He's with Caesar. He transferred.
Did you notice I got that right, by the way?
Yes. I saw you stumble a hair, and then you got it right. I love it. Former sponsors of the show. Matt Vasallo from the Rhinestone World, Mike Duke with Sanmar, Monty Mims with Sanmar, Nate Lieber with Lieber Design and Print. We got Nick Wood from Ryanette, Randy Rickert, and they didn't say who they're with, but I know Randy. He's with Oki Data. And you got Tim Fisher with CCI, and Tony Bragg with SPSI. So lots of nominations. Obviously, some great people out there doing great things in our industry, and pretty exciting stuff there, Terry. Let's get to a couple comments here real quick. Said that here's a comment here that they have barred in distributing that color reel that we talked about in Europe. What about her? So I'm not exactly sure what that question is, but there we go. Lisa Shaw says, congratulations, Eric. And then one of the nominees chimed in here, Terry. Christine Shreve says, honored to receive a nomination for the best customer service. Thank you, everyone who nominated me. Much appreciated. So,
and Aaron, when the voting occurs, what's going to happen? Will the 3 people from Rhinestone World cancel each other out?
Yeah,
it'll be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're the Rhinestone World, the crew, as Matt calls them, were out in force. They felt gypped last year because they were late. They didn't get nominations in, and so I think they made up for it this year.
In our conversation about it, as their votes started pouring in, I said, well, when Matt has a Rhinestone army over there, it's which he does.
Yes.
And Eric commented that you can see them from space.
When you have a Rhinestone army, they're going to stand out. There's no sneak attack coming from the Rhinestone army. So
exactly.
All right, Terry, number 3.
All right.
All yours.
That's the company that provides the best customer service. The 5 nominees are Embrilliance. The second is Heat Transfer Warehouse. Third is Ricoma International Corporation. The fourth is Sanmar. And the fifth is the Rhinestone World. And other folks receiving nominations were 651vinyl.com, Troy Young, Bill Cohen at allstitch.net, Enmart, Equipment Zone, Insta Graphics Systems, Melco, Nasdar, New Era Apparel, Rhinotech, Ryonet, SLC Activewear, and Stalls.
Awesome. Well, good companies there. Again, a nice long list of everybody, and you've got some great companies to vote for there, plus some other great nominees. So
Exactly.
Well, let's keep this going, Terry. I know you've got to get to your thing, and we don't want to, without further ado, because we've got 10 this year. We added 2 categories this year, so we just added more work for ourselves. But.
And I was talking to a customer at their expo, and I said, "Hey, I'll be right back."
You should have brought them in with you. Yeah, let's have them walk through in the background there. That'd be perfect.
Well, the president of Equipment Zone, Harry Oster, graciously allowed me to use his office and to go talk to my customers.
Very nice. All right. Let me pull the list back up here so we can keep this going. And because I was getting ready for the visual version coming up here
Very
soon.
Good. Well, we are at number 4.
We are at number 4. Thank you. Lisa Shaw says, "Yay and brilliant. So excited to see them nominated." So Lisa Shaw, thanks for comments and definitely we're excited. Somebody I wasn't aware of it personally, Terry. So again, like we've talked about, we're always excited to see new names and get to know new people and grow this community. So love it.
I have to confess, I was not aware before the nomination started of Brilliant. So super
cool. Excellent. All right. So number 4, best online educational content. And the nominees are, where's the envelope? EricCampbell.com, Heat Transfer Warehouse YouTube channel, OML Embroidery University, Ted Stahl's blog, and the Rhinestone World YouTube channel. So those are some great online educational content places to check out and bookmark there. Others receiving nominations. Boy, I'm pretty. And this was not me nominating myself, which it's fine if you do that, but I did not do that this time. But my website, aaronmontgomery.info, got a nomination. Allstitch.net, Crafting with Rhinestones and Vinyl, Embrilliance, GreatDaneGraphics.com, the Inksoft Big Idea podcast, Machine Embroidery Help Facebook group, Stalls TV YouTube channel, Sublimation and More Facebook group, the Teach Me That Facebook group, the Embroidery Life Facebook group, and then the Print Life, which is a primarily YouTube channel, but good stuff going on over there from Cam, I believe is his name. So, all right. So let me just grab a couple comments, Terry. Sorry, that's why I'm distracted. I feel like that shiny object syndrome's hit me pretty heavy today. It's like squirrel. Because there's some great comments I want to catch. So Christine, yeah, we're kind of giving away a little bit here, but we're working on some pretty cool shows for next year, and Christine is going to be at the core of that. So definitely learn more about that soon. And Brian says, "We are so humbled here at Embrilliance. Thank you to those who nominated us." So congratulations, Brian. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're excited to get to know you a little bit better. So definitely. All right, Terry. Well, should we get to number 5 here?
Let's do it. Number 5 is Best Industry Educator. And the 5 nominees are number 1, Eric Campbell, our producer. Number 2, Gabe Hernandez from the Rhinestone World. Number 3 is Lisa Potts, the Rhinestone World. Number 4, Matt Vassallo of the Rhinestone World. Number 5 is Sue Brown at OML University, OML Embroidery. Now, here's an issue that I would be concerned about if I were either Gabe Hernandez and Lisa Potts. Matt Vassallo also nominated Is Your Boss. So yes. I don't know how you're going to play that one.
Yeah, fortunately, Matt's a super nice guy. So I'm
yes,
sure
indeed. I'm sure he is laughing right now.
Yeah, but I'm sure he would, enjoy making it a little bit tense for them. I think that'd be all right. Well, who else received nominations, Terry?
Yeah, absolutely. Brett Bowden with Printed Threads, SGIA. Chris Pluck, Doug DeWitt with Condi. Greg Kitson with Mind's Eye Graphics, a great friend of the show. Henry Maw, Janine Edwards with Fruit of the Loom, been on our show before. Kevin Koth, Lisa Shaw with Brilliance. There's another almost nomination. Ryan Moore, also a very good friend of the show. Let's see, Cheyenne Scott with SLC Activewear, and then Tom Round with Envision Tees. Tom, also a great friend of the show.
Nice, great job on Cheyenne. I would have completely missed that one.
I did hesitate, and by the way, I didn't even look at the list until we started the show. So
nice, good for you. And well, from now on, any names to be read. In fact, you're just gonna have to do the rest of them. I have no idea why I have this mental block with reading people's names. But,
and you always choose the first category with a big long list of names for yourself. How about Terry? You do the first one, company names.
yeah, I should really plan ahead, but that would make this less fun. But anyways, Terry, just a couple of people in there. You had mentioned Chris Pluck, just so people know, he's with Instagraphics. Henry Rao is with Racoma. And a couple of others.
She is with Instagraphics.
I'm sorry, you are no. You're thinking no. This is Chris Pluck, the guy. Yeah, there's two Chris's there. You got Chris without the H, and she's the salesman. Anyhow, we're going down a path we don't need to go down. There's one other name that I don't recognize actually what company he's with, Kevin Koth. So, and then one quick comment. Lisa says Eric Campbell's willingness to share all of his embroidery experiences with a big heart. So, good job there. All right, Terry. I can do this one. No names in this. So, number 6, Best Industry Trade Show. Let's see here. Here are our nominees: the DAX Chicago Show, the ISS Atlantic City Show, the ISS Long Beach Show, and the ISS Orlando Show. And then the last nominee is the NBM Indianapolis Show. So great stuff. This category has been pretty much dominated. In fact, not pretty much, completely dominated for the entire previous 5 awards by ISS Long Beach, but not to sway any votes or anything like that. But DAX Chicago actually had more nominees this year. That's the first time that ISS Long Beach didn't have the most nominees. So nominations, sorry.
Yeah.
So the others receiving nominations were All Things Silhouette Conference, and you got the ASI Dallas Conference, or not conference, ASI Dallas Show. You've got the DAX Kansas City Show, the ISS Fort Worth Show, the NBM Charlotte Show, and then the SGIA Expo, which since it was the last year, bummer they didn't get a chance to be voted on, but we'll see if Print United can get into that group. So, Terry, number 7. This one's going to be a little bit different because it's visual. So, hey, we're doing a video podcast, so I'm going to see if I can get this thing up on the screen while you tell us who they are for the podcast folks, and then we'll figure out a way to post it. We'll post pictures and stuff to social media, etc. So everybody will be able to see it.
Well,
so
we do.
Go ahead.
Best,
of course. All right.
Do we have her on the screen?
Just about. You keep going.
Okay.
Of course, froze up trying to bring this up.
Well, Matt Fasala with the Rhinestone World, Tanya from My Vinyl Cut LLC, Chris Skarstadt with Rhinotech, Heat Transfer Warehouse, and then pickthegift.com were the nominees for the best.
All right, there we go. So
the screen, there they are.
Oh, there we go. Okay, you drop down into the lobby there. That we're definitely gonna have to work on the internet here at my new location.
you're certainly tempting fate by showing graphics, considering our start to the show.
Nice. All right. So did you get all the way through the list, Terry?
I did indeed.
Okay. So here's what's going to happen with this in the voting. It's just going to do the pictures up there. We're not going to put the name with it because I want people to pick which design they like best. But for those of you listening here today, you get to know who is what. So the Chicago Cubs rhinestone image there that you see on the screen, that is from Matt Vassallo at the Rhinestone World. The Mermaid Life Racerback tank top is a vinyl product from Tanya at My Vinyl Cut LLC. And Chris from Rhino Tech did the dark shirt. It's on the gentleman down in the bottom right corner. And then the heat transfer warehouse image was uploaded as the sublimation mug down there in the bottom middle. And then pickthegift.com had the serving tray up in the top right corner there. So there we go. That's category number 7. As we like to do, it's always something new and exciting, right?
Absolutely. And those are pretty impressive. So it'll be interesting to see how the voting goes.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, here's a couple comments. That Cubs Cup is amazing, Matt. Yeah, so we've got the crew here with us. Woohoo, Matt Vasallo, TRW in the house. Nice. All right, good stuff there. Terry, actually, I know you did number 7, but why don't you take number 8 for us here too?
Okay, sure. The most influential young star, and this is someone under 40 years old that's making an impact on the industry, up and coming. Number 1 is Brooke Hesdalen from Heat Transfer Warehouse. Eric Campbell. I'm going to need to see a driver's license on that one, Eric. Gabe Hernandez from the Rhinestone World. Lisa Potts from the Rhinestone World, another head-to-head competition. And then Pete Jr. with New Era Apparel. Those are the nominees. And other people nominated for this under 40 up-and-coming, Brett Bowden with Printed Threads. Cam Irvin from vlogger with The Print Life. Henry Mall with Racoma. Joe Piazza with Caesar. Justin Lawrence with Oklahoma Shirt Company, good friend of the show. Justin McDowell, Fruit of the Loom jerseys and Russell Athletics. Laura Gomez with Racoma. It looks like another head-to-head there. Nate Lieber with Lieber Design and Print. Olivia Dean with Marketing Associates of Madeira. Sean Moreau, the Rhinestone World, says he's a great teacher. Taylor Frank, Tom Round with Print Marketing Group, and Tyler Dowdy with Abercrombie and Fitch, IDC Supervisor.
Yep, definitely. So Olivia Dean there, Terry, is with Madeira USA. I definitely set you up for that one. She is a marketing associate there with Madeira USA. Okay. And Tom, as we talked about earlier, Envision Tees, but he also is the creator of the Facebook group Print Marketing, Screen Print Marketing. So
and a former student at someone's screen printing class many years ago.
I know that guy too. He's a heck of a regular guy. All right, Terry. Well, number 9 here. We've got the best guest on the Two Regular Guys podcast. Now, one quick word of note here is apparently by the time people got down to the 9th category, they stopped reading the instructions because we had several nominations of people that had never been on the show before. So now, with that being said, maybe that means we need to go track them down and get them on the show. But
possibly
yes,
so.
maybe not counted into the votes. But all right. So the nominees this year for Best Guest, Allison J. Prince, who we just had on. Great guest there. Show producer, Eric Campbell. And who has also been a guest, regular contributor, lots of great stuff. Gordon Firemark, the attorney that was with us to do copyright and trademark law. That was a fantastic show. All these shows have been wonderful. Matt Vasallo with the Rhinestone World. And then to defend his title, Pete Jr. with New Era Apparel. Pete picked up the Reggie last year for Best Guest, so he's back to defend his title.
And I tell you what, that's a tough competition right there with that group of 5.
Yeah, definitely got some great stuff there. And now I don't. If Pete wins again, I guess we are going to have to send 2 mugs, one for Uncle Tone too, because
exactly right.
But the only way
he's a participant in the show.
That's right. And we have to get a audio recording that we can use for the intro of Pete yelling across the shop for Uncle Tone. So. All right. So others receiving nominations were AJ McCallar and Kirk Anton from the Heat Transfer Warehouse. Monty Mims, his show Tips from an Apparel Geek. Monty Mims with Sanmar. And then we had Tom Round on the show, and he received a nomination as well. So good stuff there, Terry. All right. We ready to wrap this thing up and get to number 10? So you can go do your job that you're actually getting paid for, Terry.
Best Ambassador for the Industry. And as you mentioned at the top of the show, we have 4 in this category, and because all the others are nominated one time, so you selected the ones with multiple nominations. So the 4 nominees for Best Ambassador for the Industry. Again, Eric Campbell, our show producer, Joe Piazza, Matt Vassallo with the Rhinestone World.
Oh, just lost Terry. All right. Terry, hold on a second there, Terry. We'll get you back here. Oh, good stuff. Hey, Terry, we lost you there for a second. So you popped down into the the lobby again. Are you back?
Shall I start from the beginning?
Yeah, let's start over. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Go ahead and start over.
Okay.
For us. Sorry.
There's my pause. So in the audio version, we're going to edit this out. There it is. Best Ambassador for the Industry. 4 nominees for that category. Eric Campbell, our show producer. Joe Piazza. The third is Matt Vassallo with the Rhinestone World. And number 4, Pete Jr. again with New Era Apparel. And Aaron, some of the other nominations were Aaron Montgomery. Look at that.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Brett Bowden, a good friend of the show. Ford Bauer. And let me just cursor down, apologize. Laura Gomez. And let's see, she is the face of Racoma. Lisa Montoya. And she shows how to use the equipment you have to use, the templates, and they sell. Lisa Potts. Lisa always explains the do's and don'ts. Marshall Atkinson. Marshall's a really good friend of the show. Nate Lieber. And hey, Terry Combs, I got a nomination, Aaron. Was that a penny nomination at the very last line there? Is that?
Yeah, we'll read what they said about you too. I don't know. It's
items you can't live without. Pressing pillow.
No.
No, that's below.
That's below.
He's been at it for a long time, really, really long time, and always striving to entertain and be happy. Well, thank you, whoever made that nomination.
So I don't know if it was a jab or what, but good stuff there.
I added in the part that was really, really long time.
Oh, okay. All right, good. Terry, so we also had an area for people to put in some suggestions for categories. You know, they won't hit this year, but we've got the good suggestion that I thought was worth sharing. Items that you can't live without in your shop, and they said they're pressing pillows that they use for heat transfer. So
I gotcha.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
glad to see that wasn't actually about me as I dropped down the line to read what you asked me to read.
Yes, Ron Burgundy. That was not right. Just kidding. All right, Terry. Well, let's definitely take a quick break, see if we can make this Equipment Zone commercial happen, and may have to edit that in actually. All right, well, very good. But I'm gonna take my leave and go out and talk to some folks at the expo. Everybody get out there and vote. And Aaron, I will talk to you next week. And Eric, thanks for jumping in and helping out with the show. All right, thank you, Terry. Have a good one. Eric, are you there?
Absolutely.
All right.
I'm ready to serve, and thank you for having me on.
Well, appreciate you hanging out and checking in. So, and then also want to thank Equipment Zone for their sponsorship of the show. The folks listening on the podcast version will hear all about that. Eric, before we get to kind of a quick review here, I wanted to share some upcoming events that you and I've got going on here. Tomorrow, I'll be bringing you SBS videos that I've been doing every Saturday morning. That's at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. You've been on helping me with that before and stuff like that. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about developing a marketing funnel. So excited to. Awesome. I always get geeked up about marketing stuff, so that is exciting for me. And then I've got a couple of seminars coming up at DAX Kansas City, as you've got some others prior to that, but we'll let you share those in just a second. But sure. In DAX Kansas City on February 22nd, I will be doing 2 sessions. The first session will be developing a business plan, and kind of use the framework from my 5-part series I did at SBS there. And then February 22nd again, but just about 30 minutes after that one's over, I'll be running over. Hopefully it's in the same room, but if I have to run across the hall, then so be it. Being customer-centric equals, in all caps, equals more profits. So I want to talk about, that kind of difference between saying, I want to be customer-centric, but it causes me to lose money because I have to bend over backwards. Well, I'm going to prove to you that that's not the case, that you kind of, it's that win the war versus win the battle kind of thing. So anyhow, great stuff there. Eric, what about you? What do you got coming up on the horizon there?
Well, first I'm just going to talk about my Long Beach stuff, but I will tell everybody I am at the DAX show. So if you go over to see Aaron and you want to see me too, we're both going to be there. So
nice.
At the DAX shows, I definitely have sessions going on too. Got a couple out there, but I'll release those next week. I'm like Terry. We see Terry's list is here. He's not here, so I guess we're not going to talk about his dates.
We're skipping right over.
His tour dates on the website.
Yeah.
I'm like Terry. I'm not ready for 2019 to be here yet, people. I don't want to put those dates up. But
well, plus Terry's got a competing session with me at DAX, so we're not even going to talk about that.
Snooze, you lose, Terry. But on my front here, I'm going to be at ISS Long Beach, of course, and I've actually got 3 sessions at ISS Long Beach. And I actually have to thank Aaron, because I used to just say, "Oh, I've got sessions at ISS Long Beach. Come check them out." And Aaron actually put these in the listing for me. So everybody who thinks I'm together and put all my dates up, Aaron did that. That's I didn't do that. So January 18th, I'm doing learning to digitize the 2 kinds of embroidery knowledge. I'm going to talk about the difference between embroidery knowledge and software knowledge, and why those 2 things are different, and which one I think is more important. If you've been in my classes before, you're going to get a lot deeper view of that on this one. And we're going to have January 19th, the scientific stitcher, measurement and testing. I think this is the one thing you need to really digitize well, is to learn how to test and iterate on your designs. And so that one, if you miss the rest of them, go do that one. And last year we have January 20th, embroidery pricing models explained. By the way, I'm not going to tell you how much to charge per 1,000 stitches. I'm going to tell you how to figure out what your shop should charge per 1,000 stitches. I'm not going to tell you the numbers. So if you go in hand and go, so what do I charge for a jacket back? It's going to get a little deeper than that, kids. So you have to get into some theory. But that's what's going on with me at ISS Long Beach. I will announce my DAX shows as well. So coming up soon, I'll have my DAX stuff up, but Aaron's got me beat as usual.
Yeah, no, that's all right. All good stuff. You've got more going on than I do, so I had time. All right. So Eric, before we get any further, kind of want to skip around here a little bit, and I know we've kind of got some time there, but first off, Lisa Shaw says congratulations to all the nominees. Absolutely, 100% agree. And Jersey Activewear for garment decorating. Follow that up with the similar comment.
Absolutely. Congratulations to everybody. I know sometimes I feel bad when I get some of my people come in and start hitting that list pretty hard. I mean, I showed up a lot. Thank you for everybody who did that. That's really lovely. I appreciate it. And I always tell people it means a lot. It means a lot to the people who are out there in the trenches doing this stuff, that the decorators cared for us to keep on going. Because there's a lot of lonely nights banging away at the keyboard, getting these lesson plans together and getting your materials together. It's nice to see that pay off for folks.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, so let's go back and this is our 6th year doing this, Eric, and we're going to kind of take this one by the cuff here. And so I'm going to jump around on you a little bit, but I do want to just kind of reminisce, harken back to years past, kind of, as you mentioned, it's great to get recognized for the hard work and stuff like that. So let's start with the best ambassador category here and take a look. So we've got our 4 nominees, and again, let me tell you what those nominees were again. Eric Campbell, and hello, Eric. Good to see you.
Thank you, everybody. Defend my title.
Joe Piazza, Matt Vassallo for the Rhinestone World, and Pete Jr. from New Era Apparel. So those are our 4 nominees. But I wanted to talk about the others receiving nominees here, because Terry mentioned who they were, but we'd also asked folks to kind of give us the why, and we will share when we post these out there for voting. That's what I'm going to be doing after we get done, is getting the voting up and ready to go here. I will add all of the information that people shared with their nomination, so you can kind of get that. But since these others receiving nominations won't be up on the website there for that voting perspective, I wanted to share kind of what people said. It's not, and again, not from my own personal, I was one of the nominees, and somebody had said about me, provides great support to the industry, helps business people like me be more successful and professional.
And I'm going to cut in on you on that, because because it's not you. I want people to know this is not just me, trying to butter Aaron up while we're on the show. But if you haven't seen the Small Business Saturdays, I know I do this whenever we're on and he mentions Small Business Saturdays. I'm like, go over there, actually interact with this stuff. I really feel like not everybody is attaching to that segment and helping people out when they're trying to get themselves organized. Even if they've been in business for a while, a lot of small businesses don't do the stuff they need to do for marketing and business plans. And Aaron has really been laying that out. So from me, so it's not you saying all this stuff. I'm going to say I'm really glad to see somebody recognize that, because though we know you from Two Regular Guys, Small Business Saturdays is really excellent. I think people need to get on there and check it out and see that's a really major contribution you've been giving to us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And again, like Eric said, we all work hard to kind of gain this. It's not to gain the recognition though, it's just being part of this wonderful community. And that's really what the Reggies are all about, is this wonderful community of people, maybe even people that aren't getting recognized. And so that's why we always encourage as many people to get involved with this as possible. Like I said to Terry earlier, we learn about people we didn't know about in our little bubbles. This is a great, big, awesome community that we're part of. So, that's what we want to do, is really kind of grow that. So let me share a little bit more, a couple more of these here. Laura Gomez, and it says she's the face of Racoma and loves to respond to people on their Facebook group and is the face of the web series. So Laura, good job there.
They're doing strong work at Racoma, doing instructional videos and stuff over there. It's impressive what they've done in a real short amount of time to get that put together. So yeah, good to see her on there.
Nice. Lisa Montoya, which Terry had kind of read out there. She shows how to use the equipment you have and the templates they sell. Lisa Potts. Lisa's always explaining the do's and don'ts and actually demonstrates what will happen. Also will show common errors and how to correct it. Marshall Atkinson. He's been insanely active in the industry, and he's got a ton of wisdom on decorating.
Especially this year with Shirt Lab and everything else, Marshall and Tom, of course, who's appeared several times on the list. Those guys have been out there just really going out. And the other thing is we always say, we talk about Shirt Lab or stuff they're doing that's more commercial. I mean, that's something that's an event that you pay to go to, but Tom got in there for screen print marketing, and boy, a real active group, and people are really putting a lot of out there. And the other thing is he energizes his members. So that's one of the things to say is real great about these folks, is they're leading other people in the industry to give back and to do this sharing that some of us have been doing a long time.
Sure, absolutely. So, and then Nate Lieber says hard work with drive that always becomes synonymous with quality and timely due dates. So it's great for Nate. He's a decorator out there, in the weeds. So, getting some recognition there. And then we talked about Terry being recognized, and he's been at it for a long time. And should I just leave it at that? No, I'm just kidding. As you can tell, Terry is a very entertaining, fun guy, one of my best friends. And so
you see Terry at the shows. Once again, not to butter Terry up while he's not here, but when you see him at the shows, there is no time that someone comes up to Terry that he doesn't help. Like he's not off limits almost any time of day. If you walk up to Terry at the shows, he's always ready to talk to people. And it's great. Plus, the funny thing is, if you need to talk to Terry, you got to stand in line.
I just
ask him a question.
I just walk up to the front and say, "Excuse me for a moment." I'm just kidding. All right. So again, all about recognition, all about this wonderful community that we're a part of, and that's what really the Reggie thing is means for us, So maybe real quick there, Eric, just kind of follow up on that for me. I know we've talked about it already, but. The first time you won a Reggie, what was going through your head? Because that was several years ago now.
It was some time ago. The first thing was just that I couldn't believe this community of people was just so, honestly, so giving, and they wanted to recognize people. They wanted to get out there, and they had something to say. And honestly, we just had the community was bigger and more vibrant than I thought it was. And upon winning, I mean, the win itself was cool because it was just people who are, people who are in the trenches voting. It's people who are decorators, who are using products, who are talking to you voting. And that was really interesting. But then the other thing was being part of kind of the community of people who were nominated. Because I think that was my introduction really to you guys to some degree, and to the podcast to some degree. I mean, I was on a podcast before that year, but it really introduced me to the whole community of people who were servicing the industry. Because at the time, I was still a decorator writing. I mean, I was writing, and that was it. I really wasn't educating yet. I hadn't been on the road. That's only the last 3 years that I've been teaching on the road. So it was really cool to be introduced to the community of supporters that this industry has, that are out there either with distributors or in education, who are writing the articles, who are doing the seminars, those people, that was really interesting to me personally as somebody one, just to get in among those people and find out,
Sure.
oh, we are all living a very similar kind of life and doing this thing, and we all love the industry so much that we just keep grinding, keep doing it. And then it was cool because we got because of the power of two regular guys. I'm sorry, there's a big bump that you get from the two regular guys. I mean, people might think, okay, whatever, but seriously, there's a big bump you get where people, just the same way as we see people we have never seen before in these lists, people who have never seen you before suddenly get you on the radar, and you get new questions. You get people with new venues or different kind of decorating they do who start asking you stuff that you may never have been asked before, and that kind of comes out of that too. It's just, it broadens your view and it broadens your world as a decorator.
Yeah, and I love that the broadening of your view, and I think for me, you know, this nearly 7-year journey that we've been on with this has been about that. Yeah, I would have never dreamed of meeting some of the people that I've gotten to meet throughout this, and so that's really cool, and I'm glad that I share that with you. So. You know, and plus we've had a few adult beverages along the way for fun. So there we go.
It didn't hurt. I mean, it didn't hurt anything. A couple adult beverages between friends
Nice.
is perfectly fine. But that's the cool thing. But you get together with people, and between Reggie winners, the decorators who listen to the show, you show up to a trade show and we sit down and people roll up to you and they know who you are and they want to talk and they're very open, and that does happen. You can have a few adult beverages with people from the industry and you have just a really great interaction, and honestly enough too, in business, connections get made, and that's not a bad thing. We can it sounds a little it sounds a little mercenary to say it that way, but guys, when you get in with the group of people like this who are certainly invested enough to listen to a show every week or to be on a show or to do this stuff, they're people who really are in the industry and want to be there. Yeah, that's a powerful group of people to be around. You learn a lot and you get connected to a lot of really cool people. Yep,
definitely. All right. Well, any of the viewers there that are checking us out, if you have any areas that you want to cover based on what we've talked about from the 10 nominees, or any questions or areas, go ahead and post those up there. But Eric, I had a sorry, been doing this for 7 years. You're fine. So I had a question. Obviously, as we've discussed, Terry and I are not the most knowledgeable when it comes to embroideries, and we lean on folks like yourself and Christine and Andrea and everybody else that we've been fortunate enough to meet through you, or otherwise. But talk to me about this color reel thing. It seems really interesting to me. You got some knowledge on that already?
Yeah, a little bit. In fact, I feel kind of bad because the guys from Color Reel probably hate me. When it first came out, Images magazine in the UK asked me for a comment, and I did the wait and see comment because I was like, it was really early on. I'm like, yeah, it's only one way to thread, and I want to see how can you control that coloration? Is it going to be like, can I tell exactly where in a design I'm going to start and stop a color and stuff? And so I kind of brought up a bunch of questions. So guys from Color Reel probably hate me. But what I'm going to say is, looking at what they've done since they came out, since they've been showing it off, I go, okay, now I'm kind of getting it. Here's the thing. It dyes thread on the fly. You can do a smooth gradient. Anybody who's been a digitizer and embroiderer knows that a smooth gradient is the hardest thing to do. You have to layer a bunch of different colors of thread. Sometimes you'll have 5-6 colors of thread. If you do like a rainbow gradient, it's incredible. Layering layers of different low density passes of thread till they interact, and you end up with a permanent kind of gradient that looks good. It's really difficult. It takes a skilled digitizer to make it look good, and it's never perfect. And you can't almost do it on a satin stitch, the classic shiny stitch you see in lettering. So this would allow that to happen. If it works very precisely, it would be a game changer for that. Other thing is, if you've ever been in an embroidery shop, you know that someone comes in with a Pantone color request for a corporate entity. Yeah. And you never have it. You never have it. And even when you do have it, it's close. It's never all the way there. Having Pantone color matching on the fly, that could be interesting for corporate embroidery too. So fashion embroidery, corporate embroidery, there are segments where it's really interesting. Still, I don't think they're going to be dyeing metallic threads anytime soon. I don't think they're going to have different weights of threads yet. At least I haven't seen it yet. So if you use thick threads or thin threads for small lettering, stuff like that, which are very common now, weren't when I first came up, but they are now. We'll have to see if they do that too. I'm eager to find out what they're going to release. It really is about matching the segment to what you need. I think most embroiderers, truthfully, are they going to run 12 color reel units on top of their 12 head machines? Not for a while.
Yeah.
But it is a really interesting technology. I'd like to see where it develops. I'd like to see if I could look into the future 3 to 5 years and see how the implementation has gone and how they survive and what people have come up with to use them on, what things they've been able to stretch and make them do. Because as we know, decorators, as soon as we get a piece of equipment or a new material, we're going to push that thing outside of the boundaries of the initial kind of mandate for what it was supposed to be used for.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens then. When it gets on the shop floor more often, then we'll see it. But right now in the tech demos, it's really pretty interesting.
Nice. Excellent. Okay. Well, perfect. Great feedback. That's what I was excited to hear about. Like I said, that came across my radar for the first time with the nomination.
It's like a holy grail. That dying thread on the fly thing has been, people have wanted to do that a long time. So nice. I'm eager to see how it turns out.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, Eric, I think we're kind of getting, in fact, we're going to be in bonus time here, which is great. I love bonus time, but we don't want to be remiss and not get to 5 things. So
all right.
I'm going to put you out there, and it's the floor is yours, sir. Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to go through 5 things to look for when hiring an experienced embroidery machine operator. Now, this is specifically an experienced machine embroidery operator. I have a comment at the end about that statement. Number 1, they should exhibit an understanding of embroidery, including stitch types, the ability to identify potential quality or technical issues that require intervention. It's important. And communicate them to a digitizer as needed. If something's going wrong, they should be able to describe it so that you can fix it. They have to be able to properly prepare a job. I would include among those things that they need to do selecting appropriate stabilizer, threading and adjusting the machine, working on the thread tensions and hoop tensions as needed to change for the material that it's going to be on for the specified garment. They should be able to properly hoop and frame flat garments and caps accurately and at the correct angle. You have to be able to hoop straight. Yeah, that's a big deal. You don't want a run of expensive polos with crooked logos on them. Number 3, they need to be able to manage a machine, including preparation, loading of files to the machine as needed, if needed. Sometimes a production manager will do that kind of stuff over the network, something like that. Also, executing appropriate maintenance on the machines as specified by the manufacturer. You can't be a little scared of oiling as needed. That's something where I don't think it should be machine specific, though. If you have some experience managing a machine, don't be afraid to teach them on your own machines. It's perfectly fine, but it's great if you're looking for an experienced person that they've got enough information to say, I know this thing needs to be handled this way. Maybe I don't know the button sequence to push, but I can figure that out, or I can be taught. Also, number 4, they have to be able to keep accurate accounting of their production and show an understanding of scheduling as needed. Like I said, once again, you may have a production manager that handles this, but if you're looking for an experienced machine embroidery operator, I've got an inkling a lot of you folks are probably going to need them to work on some of the production as well. So make sure that they have some knowledge of the way production flows and they are good enough to be very solid at keeping track and doing accounting. Also, number 5, this is kind of a soft skill to some degree, but trust me, you need to look for it even when someone's technically able. They need to be able to follow any and all instructions specified and provide job information and provide feedback on difficulties present in these instructions before production commences. If someone looks through an order, they look through something that's coming from, say, the sales department, and there's an instruction that does not work for the garment involved, they should bring it up, not ram it through. And I know that sounds, once again, soft skill. It's something you have to look for in their attitude. But I've had some folks around who are technically skilled, good on the machine, but don't like to communicate. That can be a problem if they're really going to be manning that machine and if they're going to be doing a little bit of production management. Now, having said all that, everybody's going to go, wow, that's the holy grail of machine operators. Where is this person at? I've never been able to find one. That's fine. If you have somebody who has some embroidery experience, who can do some of these things, a lot of these are very trainable. Managing a machine, trainable. Keeping accounting production, trainable. A lot of that stuff's very easy. If you've got someone who can embroider, saying that they understand what a stabilizer is and what kind is needed on a garment, they understand some stitch types, they know what things are going wrong on a machine when they're going wrong. Everything else is skills that can be trained in business. So yeah, it's great to get an experienced operator. If you want someone who can do all that, those are the things I want to see. But if they can't do all that, I know that the production is the core of this thing, and I can train almost anybody with the right attitude to do the rest of the bookkeeping needed and the rest of the maintenance needed. So for my money, I would say numbers 1 and 2, that exhibiting the understanding of embroidery and properly preparing a job, really important, the most important. Don't worry about machine specific skills. If they don't run your brand or run something else, that gets trained. And don't worry about them being able to use your system of accounting for production management. Teach that stuff up.
Awesome. Good stuff. Excellent, Eric. Thank you so much for bringing us 5 things this week.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I think we've done as much damage as we can for one day, Eric. Before I start having technical difficulties again, let's get the heck out of here. What do you say?
Absolutely, it's time.
All right. Well, we've come to the close of this show, Eric. Congratulations to all of our nominees and everybody that got nominated, and we're looking forward to seeing how the voting turns out. I will be working on getting the voting page up, so look for that over at 2regularguys.com before the end of the day here, and we'll be pushing out on social media. If you were nominated, make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that and get that in front of your crew or folks or clan or whatever you call your community. But that voting is going to be open until the 13th of December, Eric, and then the 14th
Absolutely.
we will be definitely wearing our tuxedos that day, hopefully.
I don't know that I'll be able to wear the tuxedo, but I'll tell you what, I know there is a group of very shiny people right now getting ready to promote their voting. Sorry, Rhinestone guys, I know we're giving you a little bit of trouble today, but what I can say is you people must love you. They are here in force.
Yep, they do.
Sure,
That's awesome.
I had to make sure and say something about that. Terry would have done it if he was here.
Absolutely.
Right, well,
You're filling in nicely.
The problem is I just don't get into first class as much. Anyway, I want to make sure we thank our sponsors. So the Specialty Graphics Imaging Association and Equipment Zone been with us and really helping us out all this time, and we appreciate your support as always.
Excellent. Well, Eric, next week we're going to be off for the Thanksgiving holiday here, and Terry will be traveling as he does every year and making everybody hate him because he's in a tropical paradise and we're in snow. But anyways, that's a different story. But anyways, so next week we're off, but 2 weeks we'll be back with Sarah from ASI, and we're going to talk about apparel customization and her coverage of that in the Advantages magazine. So
very cool.
That will be a very good show. But I think we can call it a day, Eric. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch up with you in 2 weeks.
Well, thanks everybody for listening, and can't wait to see you back.
Thank you for listening to Two Regular Guys. Check out our website at 2regularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com.